All right, this is section 1.5, dividing integers, and we talked about multiplying integers, and dividing integers use the same set of rules. So when dividing integers, we're going to divide the numbers and then count the number of negatives, just like you did when you were multiplying. So negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. That's what we would have done with our multiplication problems. Well, now negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. Division is just the opposite of multiplication. You're asking, what number when I divide by 5, or how many times does 5, I should say, go into 20? And it goes in 4 times. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. See, you have one negative sign, one negative sign, one negative sign here, one negative sign. Still going to make our answer negative 4. And then here we've got two negative signs. So 4 times 5, both numbers negative. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. And negative 20 divided by negative 5 is positive 4. They use the same set of rules, except we're just dividing this time. So we are just counting the number of negatives. And if you have one negative number, that means your answer is negative because 1 is odd. And if you have 2 negatives, your answer is positive. If you have 3 negative numbers, well, your answer again is going to be negative. If you had 4 negative numbers, it would be positive, and so on and so on. And you just keep going back and forth, alternating back and forth. Of course, if you don't have any negative numbers, your answer is obviously going to be positive as well. So 0 negatives would make a positive. But I want to draw your attention to one thing you may have forgotten when you're dividing, is that you cannot divide a number by 0. So what that means is, if I've got a problem with 0 as the second number, so for example, 4 divided by 0, then we're going to say that that is undefined. You cannot divide by 0. Remember, 0, the number you're dividing by, is the second number, so 0 cannot be the second number. Now, the abbreviation we'll use for undefined, if you're doing this on your work paper, is UNDF. Or you could just write the whole word out if you want to. So 4 divided by 0 is undefined. Now, if you were to see the problem 0 divided by 4, well, that's still 0. You can take 0 and you can split it 4 ways, and that means the 4 friends that you're splitting your $0 with just get $0. But you can't take $4 and split it into nothing. What does that even mean? To split it into nothing does not make sense there. So we don't want to divide by 0 because we can't divide by 0. And if we have a problem like that, we're just going to say it's undefined. Also, check to make sure, you could also say 4 divided by 0 looks like this. So if 0 is on the bottom of your fraction, it's still the second number, and that is still undefined, just like it was the second number right there. So the second number, that's the number you're dividing by. You cannot divide by 0. All right, let's look at some examples. Divide the integers. Negative 16 divided by 4. Well, 16 divided by 4 is 4, and because I've got one negative, my answer will be negative 4. It doesn't matter which of the numbers is negative. It just matters that one of them is negative. In example B, we have 2 negatives. That makes a positive, and 12 divided by 4 is 3, so positive 3. Example C, we've got another negative number here, just one of them. So 13 goes into 26 twice, so negative 2. And 0 divided by negative 6. Now, 0 is the first number here. We're not dividing by 0, we're dividing by negative 6. And that's okay. 0 divided by anything other than 0 is going to be 0. So 0 here is the first number. We're not dividing by 0, we're dividing by negative 6. Now, you can't write negative 0. That number doesn't exist. 0 is not positive, and it's also not negative. So just 0. Again, it can be the first number. It can't be the second number. All right, some more examples here. 2 negatives makes a positive 8. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Example F, this is written as a fraction, but every fraction is just a miniature division problem. So I'm just going to divide 49 divided by 7 is 7, and 2 negatives make a positive 7, just like they did in the last example. Example G, negative 15 divided by 0. Here, 0 is the second number. It's the number we're dividing by. Can't do that, so we're going to write undefined. Undefined. Again, if 0 was the first number, it would be okay, but you cannot divide by 0. That's bad. That's undefined. Example H, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Because one of the numbers is negative, we'll make it negative 5. Example I, 6 goes into 66 11 times. One of the numbers is negative, so it's negative 11. Example J, the number we're dividing by is 10. 0 divided by 10 is just 0. You can divide by 10. You can split your $0 10 ways. Everybody just gets nothing. But you can't have 0 be the bottom like you see down here in example L. This is bad. You cannot divide by 0. You can see the difference there. So we're going to write undefined, or you can abbreviate it UNDF. Let's go back to example K. 20 goes into 63 times. Both numbers are negative, so that makes a positive 3. They will pair up. Again, it takes two negatives to make a positive there, which is different from your adding and subtracting rules. So again, just multiplying and dividing is completely different. And I would say much easier than adding or subtracting. You know, when you're adding, you have to look at the signs because you could be subtracting if you have different signs. But when you're multiplying and dividing, there is no secret to it. If you're multiplying, you will multiply. And if it says divide, you will divide. And there isn't changing back and forth. And you don't have to check the signs as much. I mean, you just have to count the negatives. One negative makes your answer negative, two negatives make your answer positive, and it just keeps going. So it's much easier to multiply and divide with integers than it is to add or subtract with them.